Do you ever notice something small? A shift in somebody's tone, or a slight glance, or a heavy sigh, just kind of out of nowhere. In any one of those, you just know that something's off before anybody else does. It might seem like it's overthinking or you're just being too paranoid, but you're not. That's your brain running a full diagnostic scan in the background all the time, all the while you're unloading the groceries or responding to that text message. It's actually one of the 10 signs that you're nailing this life you're living, even though it might not seem that way. And today, I want to draw attention to it, because this is actually one of the quietest strengths that you have. And it's one of the most powerful. So if you want the full list of these 10 signs, just drop the number 10 in the comments and I'll send it to you. It's a one-pager you can put up anywhere you want on your fridge as a reminder for yourself every day. You deserve to remember to know what's working. All right, let's call this what it is. It's vigilance. It's kind of a soft skill, ninja-like awareness. And it's also intuition. Because here's the thing, the voice of your intuition will never, ever lie to you. You see things before they turn into problems. You notice the subtle stuff, a hesitation, a change in the sleep pattern, or a pause in the usual routine that just doesn't seem to fit. This could be for your child, your parent, your partner, your friend, somebody at work, but you just know there's something not right, because we're all spiritual beings having a human experience. You've trained yourself to look for these disruptions, to scan for them, not because you're negative. So what do? You act, you check in, you redirect, you try to take some preventative steps to really assess what's going on. Some people will say to you, oh, you worry too much. But here's the truth. You're not really worrying. You're trying to manage the complexity before it gets out of hand, before it explodes. And here's what most people don't understand, is that prevention gets no applause. No one cheers when a problem doesn't happen, right? You don't get credit for that meltdown that didn't occur, and that you caught the early signs and headed it off before it actually happened. You don't get thanked for rearranging things at the last minute so there wouldn't be a sensory overload or some emotional crash. There's no parade for problems avoided, but there should be, because that kind of awareness, that's true leadership. You're running a high-stakes operations in the background of your mind all the time. Your brain is kind of a risk assessment tool and a care radar system all rolled into one. What I call this is the CEO of prevention energy. You're running audits before anyone even notices that the lights are flickering. You're watching for tiny details while you're making dinner, or replying to emails, or figuring out where did you just last have your debit card. It's like you've got a sixth sense for disruption, kind of a spidey sense. And the funny part is people do ask you, how did you know that? And honestly, sometimes you don't have a clear answer. You just had a feeling. You just felt that something wasn't quite right. That isn't luck. That's lived experience coming out in full color. And sure, sometimes it looks like to others, and maybe it feels like to you that you're kind of controlling things, but you're not. You're not micromanaging. You're micro-mastering. Like grandmaster chess players who are always 12 steps ahead of the situation, because experience has taught them what happens if they're not 12 steps ahead. And let's face it, you've prevented more disasters than your smoke alarm ever will. And I'll say it again, here's the hard part. No one ever sees what didn't happen, what didn't break, what didn't spiral out of control, because of course it didn't happen. It's invisible effort, or it can feel isolating, or worse, dismissed, that nobody sees it, but I see it. And I want you to see it too, because that thing you do in scanning the background and scanning the horizon all the time, that's love. It's love dressed up as hyper-awareness. It's love dressed up as preparation or over-communication and staying on all the time. So the next time you catch something early or you follow your gut before something bad happens, I want you to pause and say, that was me. I did it. And I want you to write it down somewhere. You probably won't get a thank you, but that doesn't mean it wasn't heroic or something really important that mattered, because you just didn't avoid a problem. You protected someone. You protected yourself. You made life smoother without being asked. That's not small. That's a legacy move. So today, let this be the recognition that you haven't gotten. You're the CEO of prevention. And your track record, just about impeccable, I'd say. So if any of this hits home for you, just drop a comment below. And if you want those top 10 signs that you're nailing it in this life, again, put the number 10 below in the comments, and I'll send that list to you so you can have that one pager you can use every single day to remind yourself. It's the kind of reminder that just might change how you see yourself, even on the days where no one notices. So keep showing up. You're doing more than most people ever know. And that can be our little secret. I hope you have a great rest of your day.